What is up, you guys? Diggerdan here, coming at you with another video. Look at the shelf, it's mostly empty. This is a book on my TBR that I'm supposed to be reading, but the rest is empty. You know what that means? That means it's book haul time. So I know it's been a couple months, so this book haul is for the month of June and July. I don't think I've done one since May. And to be fair, I haven't done much shopping for books. But I think every single book I have is secondhand. And if you've been on the channel for a minute, that shouldn't surprise you at all. I love getting good deals with secondhand books. And a couple were gifted to me from my brother, so shout out to you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Yeah, without further ado, let's dig into the 15 books that I've gotten in the last couple of months. So, like I say with every book haul, normally I go to my local library every month or every 2 months. They have a used book sale where every book they sell and every dollar they raise helps support the library, so it's always beneficial. And I believe I got 4 books this time, and this first one is kind of the most out there. This is Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, Endless Nights. Now, I was trying to do some very surface level research on where this falls in like the Sandman timeline. I don't know. So if you could enlighten me in the comments, I'd appreciate you. But I picked it up just because, mostly Bookborn. Shout out to you, Bookborn. If you ever happen to watch this, I don't know. You probably have better things to do. But she was talking about how she read everything from Neil Gaiman and how everyone recommended reading The Sandman, and how she liked Sandman a little bit, but not as much as she was expecting. Basically, I've heard only good things about Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. So, yeah, I decided to give it a shot. And I think at this sale, it wasn't bag day, so I think it was like 50 cents per soft cover. So I think I spent like $2. So yeah, that'd be 4 books. So yeah, book number 1 is The Sandman, Endless Nights by Neil Gaiman. Book number 2 is The Martian by Andy Weir. This is something I was very excited to see and pick up for, again, 50 cents. Because I haven't read anything by Andy Weir, but this is the second book I own of his now, which is obviously The Martian. And then I do own Project Hail Mary, and these are like his 2 books that everyone raves about. I think he has a third book called Artemis that people don't like as much, but still think it's solid. So yeah, I'm really excited. And let me know in the comments if you think I should read The Martian first or Project Hail Mary. I'm leaning towards Project Hail Mary just because that movie is coming out soon-ish. Is that next year? This year? I don't even know. Whereas the Martian movie already did come out, and I already did watch that movie, and the movie was really good. But I've heard the book's even better, right? The book's always better. So yeah, book number 2, The Martian by Andy Weir. Now, kind of sticking with the orange theme, the third book I got for this haul, but also from that book sale, or that library book sale, was Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein. Is that how you say that? I remember watching, I think there's multiple movies in there for Starship Troopers. I don't know. I remember watching at least the first movie when I was probably too young, and I remember just the really big bugs in the battles, and it was really cool. And I have heard that the movie obviously takes some liberties from the book. It's more satirical, and I have no idea if that is the case for Starship Troopers, like if it's satirical as well, or if it's more serious, and I have no idea. So don't ruin it for me in the comments, please. Who knows, maybe I'll read this by the time I post this. I doubt it. I'm terrible with catching up on stuff. But it doesn't seem like that hard of a read. Nice, generous margins, and it's only like 300 some pages. So, but yeah, I was excited for this one, especially with that new video game, like was it Helldivers 2 that came out, and it's like very heavily inspired by Starship Troopers, or at least the aesthetic is, which I just think is fun. So that kind of, so when I saw this, I was really excited. All right, book number 4, and sticking with the science fiction motif, is The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Now, my basis with this is that I remember watching the movie that starred Tom Cruise, I think, because I think there's multiple versions of the movie. I could be wrong. But I remember watching that movie. Also, I was probably too young to be watching that. And I thought it was interesting, like with the spoiler twist ending, I guess, if it's spoiler, or not spoiler twist, I'm not going to spoil it for you, that's what I'm trying to say. But I don't know if it was a twist ending or surprise, I don't know. But I remember that ending, and it kind of stuck with me. So, yeah, I saw this one. Again, 50 cents, really hard to say no. And similar thing. We're very generous margins. Words are big. Probably an easy read. So now these next three were all gifted to me from my older brother Andrew. It's ironic. Last few times I've talked with him, it's only been about books, and that's kind of thanks to this channel. So again, shout out to you, Andrew. I appreciate you, bro. I love you. And here we go. So the 3 books he got for me are all from Stephen Brust, who is his favorite author, I believe. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments, Andrew, if that is wrong. But every book on this shelf was all gifted from him. And this is every Stephen Brust book. Well, not every book, but every book on the shelf is by Stephen Brust. And these are 3 more I can add to it. So the first one is To Reign in Hell. This one is, I think it's kind of like Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern, where it's like fantastical science fiction, where it's got very obvious fantasy and science fiction elements together. I could be wrong. I mean, it's got dragon, but I could have sworn it was science fiction, so I'm not sure. I know very little about it, aside from it's basically standalone from Stephen Brust, which made me excited. The next one is Cowboy Fang's Space Bar and Grill. This one Andrew read, and he said he didn't really care for it, but I'm still interested to read it on my own. I'm always the type of person who is going to read it, even if it's kind of like mixed messages or even negative or even over stark positive. I just like to make my own opinions, is what I'm trying to get at. And like most of Brust's books, this one's very thin. It's just over 200 pages, so I could probably rip through it decently quickly. And honestly, what got me too was this cover. This cover's really, really cool. If this doesn't show well, I'll probably have another picture from Goodreads or something. So yeah, that is book number 3 that my brother gifted me, who's also written by Stephen Brust. And then this is a book that's already on the shelf, and that I already own, and I already read and reviewed on the channel, which you should go watch. And that is book number 2 to the Vlad Taltosh series, or the Jareg series, and that's Yendi. Or if you are on like Kindle or audio or ebook, it's not going to be Yendi. It's going to be like the Book of Jareg, where it's the first 3 books combined into one book, or an omnibus. I think that's the word. So yeah, I already own this, but who knows? Maybe I'll do a giveaway on the channel at some point, and this could easily be one of those books. So shout out to you, Andrew. Again, love you. Appreciate the gifts. And they're going to make... It's going to be great. Right on the Stephen Brust shelf. I already know where it's going. All right, now everything else, I already lost count. I'm probably not going to do count. It doesn't matter. The rest of the books are all books I've gotten from thrift stores. There's, I think, 2 or 3 different thrift stores they're from. I forget. It's been a while since I've actually gone to some of these places. But every time I go to a thrift store, I always check out the book section. I have to, because it's like, at most, you're paying like $1 a book, which is just like so cheap. They're basically giving it away to you for free. At least that's how it feels. So, the first book I picked up was The Last Templar by Raymond Corney. I don't even know how to say that. Sorry, Mr. Raymond. And the reason I picked this up is it's a Templar. Like, that is so cool. But also because I vaguely remember this being on my bookshelves at home growing up. I think like my grandma read the book and like gifted it to my dad or something like that. So I'm like vaguely familiar with it. I remember trying to read it once. It's like 14 or 15 years old and kind of got bored of it. But I remember it being interesting, like enough. I don't know. Video games and girls got in the way probably. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't even know what it's about aside from it's like modern day New York, but also like an ancient, not ancient, like a Templar from the 13th century. Like it's like time traveled here into modern day New York. I don't know. Interesting things. Again, it was probably 50 cents or something like that, so hard to say no. This next one is The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman, or as you can read, it is His Dark Materials, Book 2. I've heard good things mostly about Pullman's Dark Materials series. I forget how many books there are. I think it's 3. I think it's a trilogy. I could be wrong. But I did get The Golden Compass, I think last year, or maybe earlier this year, which is book 1. And ironically, next book is actually book 3, which is The Amber Glass of His Dark Materials. And I think these were from different thrift stores in my same town, which is hilarious. I mean, obviously they're vastly different editions. Like, just it looks different. But anyway, I heard mostly good things. I think some things I've heard more recently are maybe mixed. But again, like I said before, I am definitely someone who wants to read it and make my own opinion. And obviously, I have some sort of ego, and I have to hear myself talk if I have a YouTube channel, right? So I guess just more content to talk about. Next book is George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood. This is, I know it's like in the Game of Thrones universe. I forget where it falls. I could just read it, the back, but I think it has to do with the Targaryens. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, they're advertising House of Dragon, which I think is is it based off the book? I'm not sure. But again, this is like a brand new book, and I picked it up for like 50 cents, so it's hard to say no. But speaking of George R.R. Martin, there's 3 other Martin books. I forget the order, and I'm terrible at this. I apologize. I think it's Clash of Kings is book 2, and then A Feast for Crows or Storm of Swords. I don't know. So I have all of the Game of Thrones books, well, from the main series. I don't have the novellas or the short story collections or whatever like that, except of Game of Thrones, which is so ironic. So I can't even start the series yet, although years ago back in college during my like commute to and from school, I did listen to the series, but I enjoyed it, but I didn't like blow me away, and I think it's because I was only half paying attention, which isn't fair to the series. So I'm excited to give it a fair go again, now as an adult. But I have, 5 books? So I have book 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's ironic. I actually got the 5th book first at a thrift store like 2 years ago. A hardcover, and that was like a quarter, 33 cents or something. It was like, couldn't say no. But yeah, now I just need the first book. I just need a Game of Thrones. So, and why is this version different than these? But it's like also the same? Because I couldn't remember, I thought the Storm of Swords was like green cover with a crown. No, this is yellow with a crown. I'm not sure. But you know what I'm talking about. Like that big, like the box set with all of them, where it's Game of Thrones is like blue. And then it's like red, gold, green. I don't know. I don't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know better than I do. Anyway, I'm just yapping now. But yeah, these next 3 books were also Martin. All right, now book number 15, and ironically might be the one I'm most excited about, is False Gods by Graham McNeill, which is from the Horus Heresy, which is Black Library, which, again, I hate having the stickers on there, but whatever. Which is basically, long story short, it's Warhammer 40k, which I'm really excited about because I've always wanted to dabble into Warhammer, but just never wanted to commit to paying big dollars for the books. So the fact that I could find one at a secondhand store was amazing. But the only catch is that this is book number 2 in the Horus Heresy, so I have to still wait for book number 1. But who knows, maybe this will motivate me to just finally bite the bullet and buy the first one on ebook or something like that. Yeah, False Gods by Graham McNeill. Yeah, that's it. So those are the 15 books I got for the months of June and July. We'll see if I get anything in August, if I post anything. I don't know. But I hate begging, so I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. But in the last few weeks, the last couple months, I have put together a Amazon wish list, a book list. So if you guys want to support my book addiction and want to see my shelves get more overflowed, or have my book hauls be bigger, or if you want me to read specific books, anything like that, go click on it should be in my description. I can't remember if it's I don't know if it's in my channel description, but I try to have it in the description of my videos as well. Yeah, go check that out. Maybe buy me a little something. Again, I hate begging. I feel really weird saying this and doing this, but I feel like I can't have a book haul video and not also wish for books. I don't know. It's weird. So forget I said it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like down below. Want to see more from me, Diggerdan, please hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification icon so you guys know when I upload each and every single time. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.